Think about the soda can you might have on your desk, or even the frame of the device you're watching this on right now. Chances are you're looking at aluminium. It's this kind of invisible giant in our modern world. It's light, it's strong, and get this, it's basically a permanent material, built to last forever. But forever often has a pretty complicated start.
So, what's the catch? Forever usually comes with a price tag, right? Let's pull back the curtain here and ask the tough question. What is the true environmental cost of this amazing material we rely on every single day? Okay, so to figure out that cost, we've got to go right back to the very beginning with what's known as primary aluminium. This is the story of making it completely from scratch.
And that journey starts, well, deep inside the Earth. See, to get that brand new aluminum, you have to dig up this raw material called bauxite ore. And it's a finite resource. So yeah, we're literally carving up pieces of the planet just to get the process started.
And here's where things get intense. Turning that raw ore into the shiny metal we all recognize, it takes a ridiculous amount of electricity. I mean, we're talking about one of the most energy-hungry industrial processes on the entire planet. All that power is just to break the chemical bonds in the ore. It's a massive, massive energy suck. So you might be wondering, where does all that power come from? Well, it's a mixed bag. The industry does use some clean sources like hydropower, which is awesome, but the problem is the sheer scale of the demand. It's so huge that fossil fuels often have to jump in to fill the gaps. And that, of course, is what drives up the carbon footprint.
Okay, so with all this energy being used, we obviously need a way to measure the impact, right? And that's where we get to its environmental cost, or what you've probably heard called its carbon footprint.
So, what exactly is a carbon footprint? Well, it's pretty simple, really. Just think of it like a receipt that adds up all the greenhouse gases, especially CO2, that get pumped into the atmosphere for any given activity. The more energy you use from dirty sources, the bigger that footprint gets.
And let me tell you, when it comes to making new aluminum, that footprint isn't just big, it is absolutely massive. The whole process just spews out huge amounts of CO2, which is a direct hit on our climate. And that right there is the steep price of making this stuff from scratch.
And this is where you can really see the difference. Look at that. The bar on the left? That's the huge carbon footprint from making aluminium out of raw resources. But then, look at the bar on the right. It's tiny. It's barely there. Now, I want you to burn that image into your brain, because that tiny little bar, it changes absolutely everything.
You see, this whole energy guzzling problem, it's really only half of the story. And honestly, it's not even the most important half.
This is where the plot twist comes in. We're about to talk about aluminum's secret weapon, its superpower, and that is its incredible ability to get a second life, and a third, and a fourth, and on through recycling.
So here's the magic trick. You know how plastic gets weaker and kinda junkier every time you recycle it? Well, aluminium isn't like that. You can melt it down and remake it over and over and over again, and it never loses its quality. It just doesn't wear out. It truly is a forever material.
Okay, get ready for the number that completely flips this entire conversation on its head. Are you ready? 95%. Let me say that again, 95%. Recycling an old aluminum can saves 95% of the energy it takes to make a new one from the ground up. Just let that sink in for a second.
Let's put that in perspective. It means you only need this tiny little sliver, just 5% of the energy to recycle it. The other 95%, the massive energy costs, the emissions, that huge carbon footprint we were just talking about, it's just gone, avoided completely. This isn't some minor improvement, folks. This is a total game changer.
So this recycling superpower is fantastic, right? But it's only as good as the system we build around it. It means we have to think bigger than just tossing a can in a bin. We need to talk about this idea of closing the loop.
And that brings us to the ultimate goal, what's called a circular economy. It's a totally different way of thinking about the stuff we own. Forget the old straight line of make it, use it, throw it away. Think of a circle where waste is designed out of the system from the very beginning, and we just keep valuable materials in use forever.
And this is pretty much what that perfect loop looks like. I mean, we still make stuff and use it, of course. But, and this is the key, instead of tossing it, we recover the material. We figure out ways to reuse it or remanufacture it, and then ultimately recycle it right back into new products. In a perfect world, nothing ever gets thrown out. So the big question is, how do we actually get there?
How do we build this perfect circular future for aluminium? Well, it's not going to happen by accident. It takes a real, coordinated effort, a deliberate path to get us on the right track.
And building that future really comes down to a few key things. First, we need smart government policies that actually make recycling easier and more rewarding. We also need the entire industry to commit to cutting their emissions. And finally, we need companies to be transparent, to show us their report cards on sustainability so we can all hold them accountable.
And this is why it's so important. All these pieces of the puzzle, the recycling, the circular economy, the policies, they're all pointing to one big goal: real, true sustainability. At the end of the day, it's about figuring out how we can meet our needs right now without messing things up for everyone who comes after us.
So here we are, right back where we started. We have this incredible material that can literally be recycled forever. It has all this potential to be used again and again without wrecking the planet. The science works, the tech is already here. The only thing left in the equation is us. The material is ready to go forever. The real question is, are we?